Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how to make grapefruit-orange marmelade. Yes, in Russia we pronounce it marmelade. In French it's also known as Pate De Fruit, and it's pretty much a fruit paste. And I'm sure that Russians got this recipe from French anyway, since this method of preserving the fruit of the season existed in France since 10th century, so that French and Russian confiseries can display their beautiful creations in the windows of their shops. As a child, I absolutely loved this confection, and unlike gumdrops, it contains natural pectin, which is a plant-based agent that's responsible for jiggly things. So let's get started. And here are the ingredients for your screenshots, and also will be listed in the description box below. You will need 50 grams of sugar, 18 grams of apple pectin, also known as yellow pectin. And this pectin is extracted from apples, and I think it works the best for making pate de fruit. You also will need additional 350 grams of sugar, 8 grams of citric acid, 100 grams of glucose syrup, which pretty much used for making things set. So this will help your marmalade to set, and it will prevent crystallizing. And you will need a thermometer, either this laser one or a candy thermometer. And do you want to know how I got inspired for this particular flavor of marmalade? I went to my friend's house and I picked this beautiful grapefruit and oranges from her tree. So here it is, we're making grapefruit-orange marmalade. We will need 250 grams of each fruit for this recipe, but first we need to remove the segments. In the culinary world, the segments that completely removed from the white part, white membrane, called suprems. So we're gonna suprem the orange. We're gonna peel it all the way so the white part is not showing all the way around, and after that we're gonna suprem the orange. And the same thing we're gonna do with the grapefruit. I am using pink grapefruit for this recipe, and the reason I'm mixing two fruits together, the orange and the grapefruit, I think they're gonna complement each other and we're gonna get such a beautiful flavor. Place the bowl or cup on the kitchen scales, zero it out, and we're gonna supreme the orange first. As I told you, we need 250 grams of orange supremes, and I am using kind of a large oranges, so I had to supreme 3 oranges in order to get 250 grams of those segments. This process is not very complicated when you get a little bit of practice. So here it is, we got 250 grams of orange supremes. We're gonna do the same process with our grapefruit, and my grapefruit is kind of on the smaller side, believe it or not, smaller than the oranges, but I was able to get 250 grams of grapefruit supremes. We're gonna need a saucepan with a heavy bottom, and here are your power tools for making marmalade: your spatula, your whisk, and your thermometer. In a saucepan, add your grapefruit and your oranges and place on a medium heat. Then to 50 grams of sugar, add your 18 grams of pectin, and we're gonna mix those together. The reason it's done, so when we add the pectin to the fruit, it doesn't clump up together. As your fruit starts to heat up, add 100 grams of glucose syrup. Glucose syrup is gonna stabilize our marmalade and will prevent it from crystallizing. Mix the glucose syrup in, and as your fruit starts to heat up, we're gonna start breaking those segments. The reason it's done because our marmalade has to be cut into portions, so we need a smaller pulp in there. Now we're gonna be playing with thermometer a lot. It's a little bit technical moment, but I'm sure you will get it. Our pectin has to be added in the mixture between 50 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius, and it's been added in kind of like a rain drop motion, constantly whisking the mixture. And as you whisking the pectin in, keep breaking that fruit so we can achieve a much smoother puree texture. Now raise the temperature to medium-high because we need to raise that heat. And at 70 degrees Celsius, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, we're gonna add the sugar. So just whisk the sugar in, make sure it is completely dissolved. And don't forget to constantly stir your puree so it doesn't burn and doesn't stick to the bottom. Now we need to switch the heat from medium-high to high because we want this rolling boiling process to start, and we want our temperature to go up to 100 degrees Celsius. And at this point we're going to introduce the citric acid to it. Citric acid is a natural preservative, so if you would store your marmalade, it will have a longer shelf life. And then it's up to you for what kind of texture do you want on your marmalade. If you want the soft set, you could stop it right here and mold it. For medium set, cook additional 2 minutes. For hard set, cook additional 5 minutes. And I'm going for hard set since our puree has pulp in it. It would be easier to cut it into squares. Then you will need like a jelly roll pan, hopefully a smaller one that I have because I don't think the amount that I made is gonna fill it up completely. So I'm probably just gonna fill it up in half of it. And as you can see, our marmalade is already getting set, but at this point you can actually mold it. So what I'm doing, I'm just pushing it to the side because when I cut it into squares, I want squares to be a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to push it to the side, and as you can see, it's almost setting. So we're just going to leave it to set completely, and after that I will show you what it looks like. Since it's a harder set marmalade, it only took an hour for it completely to cool down and set. But if you're making a softer set marmalade, it could take up to 5 hours for the marmalade to completely cool down and set. And at this point, we're gonna cut it into squares. So just take a sharp knife and it's gonna be sticking to your knife. Sometimes it helps if you dip the knife in water. And we're gonna cut it into squares, just the small squares. And as I cut in it, I want you to see the color of this marmalade. If you guys noticed, I didn't add any food coloring. So this is all natural, beautiful, almost like amber pieces, and absolutely delicious. Now all we need to do just to roll our marmalade pieces in sugar. This will prevent it from sticking to your fingers when you eat it. Coating each piece in sugar will also serve as a preservative, as our marmalade is gonna get dried up. Inside, it's still gonna be soft and delicious. And look at this beautiful marmalade. This is the creation you really want to display. When I was a kid in Russia, we had different varieties and different flavors of marmalade. And I doubt those flavors were natural, probably some kind of artificial flavoring. But this marmalade is all natural. The flavor is natural, the color is natural, it tastes like a real fruit. It tastes like grapefruit and oranges, and it is so delicious. And then I have this box I probably saved from some candy or like insert from the candy box. So you can put your marmalade in there and give it as a gift. And look at this beautiful gift. You can package it nicely and give it to someone special. And I'm sure they're gonna appreciate it. So I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.